This is a program by Ghanaian medical lab scientists in the diaspora, and is one of many series. Which is there to help our colleagues back home to find opportunities regarding work and then school, and it's themed assessing study and work opportunities for medical lab professionals abroad. My name is George Martin, and I'm going to be your moderator for this evening. I hope you are ready.
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
are.
are.
All right. So I have two amazing gentlemen, two panelists, a gentleman and a lady, in the person of Frank Ejaridako and Amma Martin, who are going to help me. Like I said earlier, I am George Martin, a medical lab scientist with Allied Health Professional Sciences, Allied Health Professions Council, I beg your pardon, and I'm an associate member of the Canadian Society for Medical Lab Sciences. So Ghanaian Medical Lab Scientists in the Diaspora is a group of young medical lab scientists who are working away from home in Europe, in Canada, in US, and Australia. And then we seek to help our colleagues back home to also have their dream of also working outside of Ghana. So without me wasting too much time, I'm going to introduce my panelists. And then the first one is Frank Ejarida Akon, who currently holds a double master's in medical lab sciences from the University of Freiburg, Germany, and then University of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Currently, Frank works as a scientist in University of Freiburg Hospital, pediatric hospital, metabolomics lab. And then he also registered with Allied Health Professions Council. He's going to talk on the topic of opportunity cards in Germany. And the other panelist is Amma Martin, MLS with Allied Health Professions Council, a graduate of UCC, holds a master's in biomedical science from University of Applied Sciences, born Rheinsegg, I think that is in Germany. Amma is now working as a research assistant in the biomedical sciences at Robert Bosch Center for Tumor Diseases in Stuttgart, Germany. So Amma is also going to talk on the topic of how to get your MLS certificate recognized and work with it in Germany. All right, so I'll now invite my first panelist, which is Frank, to set the ball rolling. Frank, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, how are you doing, brother?
I'm also fine. Can you hear me well? I don't know.
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to first of all thank the organizers of this program and those who put this community together. It's an amazing thing because in this world we are, getting connected is very important. Therefore, these are forms in which we can be connected in various ways. So I don't want to waste much time. I will be talking on opportunity card, which is set to roll this year in June. So we have exactly 131 days for the opportunity card in Germany to start. So I will share my screen. I have about 5 slides, which I will talk about. I will be very brief about it. Then we wait for the question and answer section. Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So as George said, I'm Frank Ejaridafon. I'm an MLS medical lab scientist, allied health accredited, and currently I'm doing my master's in biomedical science. It's a double master's degree, which is hosted by University of Freiburg and University of Buenos Aires in Argentina. And currently I'm working in the University Hospital of Freiburg in the pediatric hospital, and I'm doing research in metabolomics. Yeah, so I'm coming to talk about opportunity card, and I know that maybe most of you here have heard about a skilled worker visa in UK. The German government who wants to bring skilled workers from abroad or non-EU countries, and therefore they want to set this kind of opportunity ruling. That is the opportunity card, and in German it's called the Chancenkarte. And this card is not so different, or is not so different from the already job seeker visa we have in the German embassies, or the type of visa called the job seeker visa. Is already a particular visa you can apply from the German missions in your country. But this bureaucracy of languages in Germany has made it difficult for people to migrate from their countries to work in Germany, because if you want to work with a job seeker visa, you need to have the German language level B2 and sometimes C1, and also you have to get a job contract here in Germany before you can migrate, and which is really difficult to get the B2 language in your home country and migrate. So therefore, they have like amend this kind of visa type, and they have now called it opportunity card. And this opportunity card has removed certain restrictions, which made it very difficult for people to come to Germany and work with the job seeker visa I was talking about. That's what I've said. It was already existed, but due to certain factors, people were not able to come to Germany because it's really difficult for people to learn the language in their home country. So what is this opportunity card? Yes, it's a card that will let you come to Germany as a skilled worker, whether you have a degree or you have been through a vocational training like a nurse, a doctor, a medical lab scientist, come to Germany. This one, you don't need a work contract before you come. You can apply for the visa, and you come. When you come, you look for a job relating to your field. Yeah. So it is applied directly in the German missions in your home country. It starts in June, that is 131 days. And I'll put the website there, shishankate.com. Yeah, we have a calculator there. So as I go on, you will know how it will be done. And this opportunity card is like the Canada Express entry. If you know the Canada Express entry, they have this type of points-based system to allow you migrate there. It is going to roll as the Canada Express entry system. Then I go to the points distribution for Shisan Kate. So this opportunity card is based on points. And this points is over 14, the total of 14, and which you have to get 6 out of the 14 points. And let's see, I've distributed the points. You have four points for partial recognition of your foreign certificate, like a medical lab scientist. It's not compulsory, but if you're able to recognize your certificate before you apply for it, you have a maximum of 4 points. So only this one you are getting 4 points. So Amma will talk about how you can recognize your certificate as a medical lab scientist. Then you have 3 points for 5 years professional experience in the last 7 years. And 2 points is not older. When you are not older than 35 years, you have 2 points. When you are not, when you have 2 years professional experience preceded by vocational training, maybe you are a nurse and you are done with school, and after school you have worked for 2 years, you get 2 points. Then you have, if you have B2 level of German language, you have 2 points there, but it's not a sole requirement. Yes, it's not a sole requirement. But if you have it, it puts you ahead. Then you have 1 point if you are not older than 40 years. 1 point previous days in Germany, excluding tourist visa. 1 point applying with spouse. So if your spouse is maybe a medical lab scientist or a nurse and you are applying with her or him, that means you are going to get 1 point from there. Then a good knowledge of English, which is C1 level. So I don't know if they may require IELTS as a proof, or they can take any English language test or something. For that one, I don't know, but you have to get a good knowledge of English at C1 level. But we know that we Ghanaians are native English speakers. Some countries will require IELTS for that and the rest, but for now, I don't know. Then if you have a reasonable knowledge of German, B2, you get 1. And also training in the university, you have a training or university degree in an area of official labor shortage in Germany. That is when you have a training where labor is in shortage in Germany, then you have 1 point. Example is in our field, the healthcare professionals and IT, which is 1 point. So out of all these points, at least you should get 6 out of them, or 6/14, and you qualify for the opportunity card. Who can apply? If you have a university degree from your home country, you can apply. As well, skilled workers, that is healthcare professionals, IT professionals. If you have English proficiency, you can prove the C1 level, then or B2 level. German language, not a sole requirement, but added advantage if you have A1 level. More than 2 years of work experience, not over 40 years. And also, what are the advantages of this opportunity card? New and easier way to enter Germany, a 12-month stay in Germany possible, prospect of permanent residence permit. So when you come to Germany with this opportunity card and you are able to practice as a medical lab scientist, you can immediately start filing for your permanent stay in Germany, and more than 1,000 euros income per month possible. Your work permit for employment up to 20 hours per week. So the reason why they want to give people 20 hours per week is, you are coming to a country which don't speak English. And sometimes as health professionals, you interact with patients. And if you don't understand their language, how are you going to interact with them? So they give you a limited hours to work, and you have the opportunity to learn the language as you search for a job related to your field. Then you have a chance to find a qualified part-time or full-time job, and many advantages too. What do you have to prepare at hand? All your certificates, your bachelor degrees, your masters, your PhDs, certificates, employment letters proving that you have this working experience, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And as I said before, you have to prove financially that as you are coming, you can fund yourself as you search for job, because they don't require a work contract before they give you that visa. And definitely you need to prove your finance. And in Germany, as you may know, they have this block accounting. They really don't like bank statements and others. So you need to have a block account, a letter of commitment from someone, a German citizen, or someone with a very good document, with a well-paid job here in Germany, to give you that letter of commitment that when you are in Germany, he or she is going to support your living here till you find a job. Or you open a block account, which is not less than 12,000 euros. This block account will be your own money. Nobody will take it. It's like a German online bank, which will block the money. Then when you are in Germany, you will open a physical bank account and it will be released to you monthly. Then other personal documents like passport, birth certificates, and marriage certificates. Then I end here with my presentation. Thank you, Sean. Thank you very much. Gracias. And I will leave the podium to the moderator to call on our next speaker. I don't know when the questions and answers session comes. I'm gladly to answer any question. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. That was a very wonderful presentation. Probably I might also start to think of migrating from here to Germany. That was very nice. So Amma Martin would be our next panelist, but then before that, I would want to take this opportunity to acknowledge a few of our leaders from the Ghanaian Medical Lab Sciences, scientists in the diaspora. So our president is Akwesi Opoku Bwedi. We have Frank Ejaridakon, who just spoke as our organizer. Myself, Georgia Martin, I'm the moderator. We have Richard Osuansa and Goswe Aglago for our IT support. For the reps in the various chapters, in the Ghanaian chapter, we have Stephen Atombo, Dixon Kuade, Dr. Rajiv Samsudin. For Europe, oh, Frank, you have so many positions. So for Europe, Frank is our rep in Germany. In the United States, we have Derek Sapon. In UK, we have Dr. Desmond Bakibe Alo, Frank Baswa, and Prince Enchi as our reps. And then my own Ekia Bempoma Labi as our Canadian rep. Hello, Amma.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. So one of my bosses asked me if I was related to you.
Yeah. The first
Yeah, so I was like, professionally, yes, and then biologically, yes.
Yeah, such a coincidence. When I saw the flyer, I thought it was a mistake. So from my name is Abuate, not Boate.
Oh,
And then later I saw the name that, okay, that's your name.
all right. So, Amma, can you go on with your presentation, please?
All right. Okay, so thank you very much, George, for the introduction early on. And thank you all for also making it to this evening's program. I am really thankful to be here this evening to share with you what I also know about recognizing certificates in Germany here. And if you want to work with it. So I do not have slides, but then as I'm going through it, I will be taking you through some important websites that we can all go through it so we have an actual feel of how the procedure is. Yes. And so I will start by saying medical laboratory science is also a regulated profession in Germany. And so you need to be licensed before you can work with your certificate. And before everything else, the language is very important in Germany. If you think about coming to Germany for any reason, one thing that you need to put at the back of your mind is to get the language. You need to learn the language. You don't have to be fluent in it, but then you need to get a set to show that, yes, you know something. So this country is a bureaucratic country. So everything they require certificates or papers to prove that you know what you are doing. Yes, so the language is really important. Now back to the medical laboratory profession. So in this country is called medicine technician assistant. So that is the name. And then every state in this country recognize members. So depending on where you are applying to or where you intend to stay in Germany, that will show you where to go. So it's not centralized like in Ghana that we have AHPC that we all go to, but here is determined by the regional council or the state council. We call it Regarian Presidium in each of the states. Since I am in Stuttgart, which is in Baden-Württemberg, I will take you through the Baden-Württemberg process, or yeah, but generally it's almost the same for everywhere, just that sometimes it differs from state to state. So am I allowed to share my screen? Yep, okay, good. So, all right. So I hope everyone can see my screen now. So if you want to get your certificate recognized as a medical laboratory scientist, as I said, is a professional qualification. So you need to be recognized by the state. So this is the first site that you need to go. We call it Anerkennung in Deutschland. So Anerkennung means recognition, and Deutschland is just the other name for Germany. So recognition in Germany. And this site is a very important site. So that is the first site you need to note it down, Anerkennung in Deutschland or Anerkennung in Germany. Automatically it will bring up this site, and then you have to go for it. So to those of us who are not proficient in the language or who don't know anything, when you go to the first page of it, we have what we call Sprache, and Sprache is the language. So we can switch. We have different language options there. So you switch to what you know. So obviously we are going for English. And so when you come to this page, we have different offers there. So we have for skilled workers, we have for advisors, we have for employers. And medical laboratory science is a skilled work. So definitely you go to the for skilled workers. So this is where you go. And then the question, so from this time onwards, or from this page onwards, is you have to make the input. They ask you a question and then you put in your answer, and then at the end of it all, they give you a summary and tell you what you are supposed to do. So that is what I will be taking us through this evening. And so the first question is, would you like to work in your profession in Germany? And you say yes. And then you have to enter the name of your profession. So if I enter medical laboratory, it's giving me a lot of options. So in Germany, we have two main professions when it comes to the medical laboratory sciences. So we have medical laboratory assistants. That is the general name for MLS. And there is where you are going through the routine examination or the routine job that MLS are doing both home and abroad or anywhere else. And then we have a specialized one, which is solely for radiology. So there you need to be trained in radiology. So, and then you can be in that area. So if you don't have any formal training in radiology, you cannot or you will not be qualified for that job. And the next is we also have a medical laboratory technician in veterinary. So those are also working with the animals. Yeah. And so, and one thing about medical laboratory science in Germany is also most of the time the entry position is what we call the Ausbildung. The Ausbildung is like a vocational and like you are studying on the job and also in the classroom. That is the entry position. And so you go through that process, and then afterwards, you can do what we call weiterbildung. So weiterbildung is like a continuous education. You can also go to the uni and do it. And then afterwards, you do the vital building, and there you can specialize in all the areas, and then you progress, and then it comes with all the benefit or whatever that is there associated with it. So we will choose the medical laboratory science, and then it gives you a brief summary of the job and what you are doing, so that you will know that you'll be aware that you are choosing the right job that you want to get yourself recognized for. And so here, this is what we are doing. And so we click on the next page, and then it gives you an information telling you that the job that you are looking at or you want to get recognized for is, they give you a couple of information about it. So like, do you want to work here? The recognition is a procedure, and then they have a competent authority that is in charge of the recognition procedure. And so you have to answer the following questions to get along. And the first question will be, do you come from the EU, from Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, or Switzerland? We are not from any of these countries. So then you select no. And then the next question pops out. Are you from Australia, Israel, Japan, Canada, New Zealand, Republic of Korea, US, or United Kingdom? Is also no. And then the question comes again, do you already live in Germany, or your place of residence affects whether you need recognition? So here, if you're already living in Germany, you select yes. If you are not living in Germany, you select no. And those two will also determine how your procedure or your process will go. So for instance, if I am in Germany, I will go in for yes. And if you are not living in Germany already, you go for no. So since majority of us are not here, I will go for no, and then we'll see what is. So they ask you, have you learned your profession abroad, or have you studied abroad at an institute of higher education or a university? So any place aside Germany is considered as abroad. So we go for yes. And then they ask you, have you successfully completed your training or degree? If you have, then you select the appropriate answer. Have you obtained a state certified qualification or state recognized qualification? So if you're coming from Ghana and you have your AHPC, you click yes. Or wherever you are, if you're coming from UK and you have HCPC, you select yes. If you're coming from Canada or US, you just select just as. And then the next page pops out, which will tell you whether you can go ahead with the recognition process or not. So in this case, it's telling us that we are eligible, like we can go ahead with the recognition. So you click on next, and then they ask you, where would you like to work in Germany? So here you have to put in the address of the place that you want to stay in here in Germany. So since I'm in Stuttgart here, let's go with Stuttgart. So Stuttgart is it brings the city and the state out. So the next question is, do you need counseling or you don't need counseling? So they also provide counseling services. We have organizations like AVA, which they really help in immigrants settling in Germany, and most of the time they are helping with this with the counseling process. So if you want to be counseled, and then you select for counseling. So let's go for the further help, and let's see what will. And then they ask you, so where did you complete your professional qualification? Since it's not in EU or Iceland or any of the country, we go to in another country, and then we select next. And then a page pops up and it gives you a summary of all that you need to know and do for your recognition as a medical laboratory assistant in Stuttgart, Germany, Baden-Württemberg. And so here it's telling us that, first of all, the job or the job is regulated in Germany. And so you need to be recognized, or you need to be licensed in order to be able to work here. And then they give you the legal name of the profession in Germany. So since 1st January 2023, is called medical technologist in laboratory analysis. Yeah. And then on the right side of the page, you see the competent authority, which is responsible for your recognition process. And here we have the Regierungspräsidium Stuttgart, and that is the number, the number or the address of the specific office, because the Regierungspräsidium is like a regional council, a regional or a state council big office, and they do so many things concerning the state. And then we have this Landesanerkennungsstelle für Gesundheitsberufe. So this means state recognition for health workers. So Gesundheit is health workers. Yeah. And they give you the address and where it is. So when everything is done, this is the address that you'll be sending your documents to. And they give you a contact here for you to, if you want to call them. But calling mostly will be done in German. So to be on the server side, you can write an email and that will also be responded to. So they give you a quick information on how to do. We have the documents that you need to get for your application. You have the steps here, and we have the other options that you can go through. So quickly, maybe we can. So let's go to the requirements of, so these are the areas that they will need: equivalence of your professional qualification, your personal aptitude, how healthy you are, and your knowledge of German. So knowledge of German is very crucial in this process. And in Germany, they require a German level of B2 for you to be able to go ahead with your recognition. So without B2, you cannot, if you don't have the B2 level of proficiency in German, you cannot go ahead with your recognition. And maybe if you are already in it, let's say you are at B1 and you started the recognition, you can go ahead and then later tell them that you are enrolled or still in the process, and you can show what you have so far so that they will know that yes, you are serious about it. And whenever you are going for the language school, you are then given your certificate, and then you have to show it to them. So this process usually takes long. Since we are outside Germany, I think it's given us almost it's taking about 1 to 4 months. You can add an extra month to it, like 5 months. Maybe if you are already in the country, it could be limited to 3 months or so. So first of all, in 1 month, you are sending your documents to them, and then they have to notify you that they have received your documents. And then after that notification from there, they'll be going through your documents. And if they need anything from that moment, they'll be contacting you to bring whatever you did not add to it or what they need more to recognize. And the procedure is, so for the recognition, you are paying 100 euros for that. And when everything is over and they are handing you over your certificate that says you are legally allowed or you are now a licensed member of the MLS to work here, that you have to pay 250 euros for that. And they are also stating that there could be other additional costs that might come up. So what are your required documents? So you need to get your application form from the competent authority. So here there is a link, and then this is telling you where we can go. So we have the website of the Regierungspräsidium, which I will show you quickly. I will show you afterwards, and then you can get the application forms there. If there are no application forms to, then you have to apply without a standard application form. So there you compile your documents, post them or send them by email, and then in your email you state, this is my document for my recognition process in medical laboratory assistant, medical tech, what was medical laboratory technologist, sorry, medical technologist in laboratory analysis, yeah. You have to get your document ready, your passport, your any other personal identification, maybe your what do we call birth certificate, yeah. If you are married and you have a change of name, you also need to show your marriage certificate, or you need to show your change of name, what shows that you've changed your name. You have your curriculum vitae. So Germans also have their way of writing your CV. So you need to also find out how CVs are written in Germany, and then you write according to. And I think all this should be in German. That is why they are requesting that you have a B2 proficiency, knowing that you are ready to settle in the country. So they assume that you know the language. So all these should be in German, your CV. You attach your certificates to them. You show your proof of your training, your transcript, evidence of your professional experience in this profession. So maybe you can also get references from your employers. When you intend to start work in Germany, you can also give them that moment. So you might also include the time that is needed for the procedure or the recognition procedure, and then you calculate and give the time that you also want to work here. So they also need this evidence of your personal aptitude. Mostly they are requiring this criminal record forms, which you are getting from the Ghana police. So they need that to ensure that you are a good citizen, and you will be a good citizen here also. They need your medical fitness, and finally your knowledge of German. So you have to also add your. So here they have the application form, and as I said, it's in German. So you go through it, and then it's just putting in your details. Maybe we can come back to that. And if your certificates are not in English, you need to translate them into German, and then you attach the original copies in the original language, the translated one, and then it needs to be certified. And most times, if they are in English too, you can get a certified copy of them from a notary, and then you attach to it. So here they have indicated that you must submit your documents in German. And so these are the links that you can also go through to let you know how you the whole procedure is going through. So here they are saying you can send application by post. You don't have to include your original. Sometimes you can also do it via email, or you can do it via email and send it by post. And then if you are required to add any or submit any original copies for proof, then you can send it on. Yeah, so everything follows as you, so the moment you send your documents to them, and then they give you a notification that they have received, from that time to the end of the recognition, they are staying in contact with you and telling you what they need from you or what needs to be done. And if everything is okay, then they will tell you when it is expected to end. And you have to wait for that process. You don't need to be calling them or sending them emails. No, if the moment they receive and tell you that everything is okay and that expect something from us so and so date, then you only have to wait till that time, and then afterwards you are asking about them if it's delaying, because they do have also a lot of workload. So for the sake of time, I will end here. But then if you go through this website carefully, you will get so many answers. And then if you are in doubt, you can contact any of our leaders and then they can also help you with that. So on the other side, in Germany here, aside getting your certificate recognized, you can also getting your profession recognized. You can also get your certificates recognized, especially certificates from bachelor's and above. And that they call it statement of variability. So that is to just for the German authority to go through your set and say that, okay, your certificates are comparable to a bachelor's degree here in Germany, and that's who they have a separate entity that goes through. But if you're an MLS and you get that statement of comparability, it does not necessarily means you can work because you still need to go through the recognition that you are recognized and then you are licensed to work. That just gives you an upper hand that your degree is accepted here. If you want to do any postgraduate studies, or if you want to work in any area which is not regulated, that becomes useful. You can use that. And it's also have a different website, and this is the website, statement of comparability, or you go to recognition of foreign degrees in Germany, and then this site is also coming up, and you also have the option of changing the language. This is in English. Yeah. So thank you very much for listening to me, and thank you also for the leaders for also giving me the opportunity to share. Yeah. Over to you, George.
Wow, that was a very detailed presentation. Thank you so much. I believe I have to start doing my German lessons. Probably next you're gonna see me over there, you know. So before moving on to the next section or the next phase, I would want to acknowledge the presence of a few distinguished professionals. First is Mr. Lawrence Ajimendia, the GAMS Ashanti Regional Secretary. He's joining us, he's online. Mr. Pascal Sedo, the MELPU Secretary for Ashanti Region. And then MLS Michael Odami Latte, who is a staff at CAT and also a safety officer. So, and thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining, for making out time on your busy schedules to join us. We really appreciate it. The next section is our question and answers. And if you have a question pertaining to this presentation, kindly put your name in the chat box and then I'll call you. But it should be strictly restricted to this presentation.